three of Doherty, Santi. Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The game at Molineaux has just got underway. Wolves taking on Arsenal, and potentially this could be a long afternoon for Vitor Pereira's side. They did have a good start under their new Portuguese manager, but things have just tailed off in the last month or so, whereas Arsenal had that nightmare cup week, losing to Newcastle and then to 10-man Manchester United. But they've recovered since then with 3 games without defeat, so they'll feel confident arriving at Molineaux this afternoon. They're trying to get on the attack here straight away. Nowhere was fouled twice then. The referee, Michael Oliver, allowing play to go on because Arsenal still have the ball. Gets over to Trossard. The Gunners trying to get on the attack straight away inside the first 30 seconds. Trossard, though, hounded out of it in the end, and the ball does go out for a throw. Both sides saying it should be theirs, but in the end, I think it has gone out for a throw to Arsenal. But it's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Josh Makin taking it through the action. And Josh, we were saying before kick-off that this could be a long afternoon for Wolves, but at the same time, they have got some attacking threat that could cause Arsenal some problems.
Yeah, specifically, Matheus Cunha up front, Arsenal, one of his suitors as well, and how many teams are in for him at the moment. So yeah, if he has a good game, you can never really rule Wolves out of it, but I do see it being a very tall order for them today. They do struggle, specifically against the big sides as well. It's why they're so embroiled in this relegation battle. It'll be tough, but they're really going to have to rely on some key moments of quality if they are to get anything from this.
Absolutely, and what they have to do, of course, is avoid giving away corners, because we know that Arsenal like to score from them, and Wolves aren't particularly good at defending them. But Rice now trying to win his side, a throw right by the corner flag, and the decision has gone against the Arsenal man this time. Just to remind you very quickly, Jose Sarr in goal for Wolves. The back three of Doherty, Santi Bueno and Agbadou. The 4 across the middle are Nelson Semedo, Andre, João Gomez and Aït-Nouri, with Pablo Sarabia, Matheus Cunha and Strand Larsen as the attacking 3 for Arsenal. David Raya in goal, back 4 of Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Lewis Skelly. Nweri, Partey and Rice are the 3 in midfield, with Gabriel Martinelli, Trossard and Havertz as the 3 up front. As the ball now bounces straight into the Wolves penalty area, and they're too slow to react here at the home side. Eventually it's hooked up in the air by Agbadou over towards the right-hand side. Kept alive here, and it goes out for a throw to Wolves in the end. But that was just a bouncing ball heading back towards the Wolves penalty after a Wolves throw, in fact, and it just caused them all sorts of problems. Yeah,
it's far too easy there for Arsenal. Partey just seems to hook a ball into the box, a bit of a hopeful one in the end, and Wolves don't deal with it. It's Havertz, I think, just trying to get on the end of it, can't quite get there in the end, but early warning signs for Wolves.
Well, it is. We've had 2.5 minutes on the clock, and the ball's not left the Wolves half yet, and they've now given away a throw as they were trying to play out from the back. It doesn't bode well for Wolves inside the first few minutes. A throw to Arsenal down the left. Lewis Skelly now waiting to restart play. Trossard have gone into an offside position, which of course you can't be offside from a throw. Wanted to give himself some extra space. It's a throw which is headed away, but straight back towards Skelly. And then he goes towards the left-hand side, across into the penalty area, back into midfield. And Rice is tracking this one for Arsenal. Arsenal don't want to give Wolves a touch so far. Really are dominating here at the start of proceedings. But Nweri's pass takes a slight deflection. That might give Wolves a little bit of a respite here in midfield. Cunha then laying that ball back towards Santi Bueno. Doherty and Bueno exchanging passes now with Agbadou on the left-hand side. Gets that ball away from Havertz, but then just fires one down the left-hand side. You can actually see Vitor Pereira just saying, just take a touch, take it easy, because Wolves, I think, having had so much pressure for 3 minutes, just want to get the ball up front as quickly as possible.
Yeah, in situations like that, I think it's just key to just be able to breathe on the ball, just establish a foothold early in this game. You know what Arsenal are going to like. They're going to be pressing you. They're going to be dominating most of the game. It's crucial in those moments where you do have a bit of possession, just to be calm on it. Don't give it away like that. Agbadou, you can't fault him for going direct and trying to get Wolves up the pitch, but yeah, it's just a sloppy pass, and Arsenal regain possession.
They do, and they're pushing out from the back down the left-hand side. Trossard's dropped a little bit deeper, just exchanging passes with Rice, and there's going to be a free kick to Arsenal as well, as Nweri was stepping forward. Matheus Cunha brings him down. He's not happy with the decision. But then again, of course, he's not happy full stop at the moment. Matheus Cunha, as Josh mentioned, there are clubs interested in him. There's potential that he may be moving in January, but from Wolves' point of view, if they can keep him, they have to, because he is their main goal threat.
Yeah, it's absolutely vital that they do. Obviously, I think we've heard figures of about £60 million being tutored for Cunha, which is a lot of money, obviously, but you've got to think about the disadvantages of going down. If Wolves do get relegated, it's over hundreds of millions of pounds in broadcast money that they'll lose out on, and without him you really do struggle to see them staying up. It's just the firepower won't be there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's someone who can pretty much pick the ball up in midfield, and also has all the traits of a proper striker as well, so it's so important for Wolves that they can keep him. A long ball now for Arsenal down the left, goes a little bit askew. It's out for Wolves for a throw here down the right hand side. Nelson Semedo, the more experienced players in this side now, just waiting for teammates to drop a little bit deeper. You can try and pick out a pass. It's a short ball into Cunha, back towards Nelson Semedo. And now it's Doherty trying to switch play from right to left. I think got a bit of a deflection as he was playing that ball across. It's straight into Arsenal possession, and Martinelli there just giving a free kick away as he was trying to win that ball back for Arsenal. It was Andre who was brought down on this occasion. This is one of a number of Premier League games on our service right now. Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Brighton, Everton, Liverpool, Ipswich and Southampton, Newcastle are also 3 o'clock kickoffs this afternoon. No goals to tell you about in any of those games, and the prospect of Man City against Chelsea. It's the 5:30 kickoff this afternoon, this evening. That's also on our service later today. But a ball down the left-hand side now for Wolves. Doesn't quite reach its intended target, out for a throw to Arsenal. And it's a bit of a messy start, really, from both teams, you could say. Arsenal are struggling to sort of get as far forward as they'd like, and Wolves are struggling to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, you saw it especially. Then there was, I think it was Wolves, Arsenal were trying to play out in the middle of the park. Just sloppy play, just not really getting your touches right. And then Wolves eventually won it back, but I think Arsenal were lucky to win the free kick. But that's sort of it looks like that's where the game's being played at the moment. You'd expect Arsenal to get that foothold eventually and to just sort of press Wolves and keep them in their area of the pitch, but they could do without that for the start.
Absolutely. We've got Arsenal now being pressed back into their own penalty area. David Raya, all the time he needs. Really, he's got Strand Larsen ahead of him, but really he should have enough time here to play it long if he wants. Short ball might be a bit more risky because the Wolves are just starting to creep a bit closer towards that Arsenal penalty area. Raya in the end does decide to go long over the halfway line. Easily into Agbadou's possession though, but he plays that one straight into Nweri. Arsenal almost winning the ball back, but it does get through towards João Gomez. He plays it to White Nuri, and then Agbadou laying it back towards Jose Sarr, who is being closed down by Havertz. Plays an early ball towards the edge of the area. Andre now under pressure here as well, but the home side do just about get it away. Agbadou with the clearance over the halfway line. It's been missed by Saliba, and suddenly it breaks it for Strand Larsen. Strand Larsen just holding onto the ball a little bit too long. Cunha wanted it early, but Strand Larsen just prefers to hold it up, and then he's got support arriving from Doherty on the right-hand side. Cunha now gets it just in front of the penalty area. He hits the deck and he was brought down, says the referee, and that will be a free kick to Wolves in a decent position. But you can see Cunha still looking across to Strand Larsen. He wanted that pass early. Yeah,
it was disappointing build-up play that in the end. They nick it really well. I think it's Saliba, isn't it, who gives it away. It's just sloppy from him, not really being aware on it. Oh yeah, he misses the ball as it comes towards him. Strand Larsen, there's a chance there to play one of his teammates, and I think that, Cunha obviously, and that's why he's looking towards him frustratingly.
Yeah, but at least Wolves do get a consolation. It's a free kick. It's over on the right-hand side, so if there's going to be a striker goal, you'd imagine that left footer Pablo Sarabia might fancy this one. It could be an angled cross from him as well, or it could be a more flat sort of out-swinging ball from Cunha. It is going to be Pablo Sarabia, and it is a free kick aimed at the edge of the 6-yard box. Nuri, I think, was the one who got closest to it, but it just gets away from him, and it's out for a goal kick. It's not a bad ball from Sarabia. I don't think Nuri is offside, but it was always just a bit too high for him. Yeah,
even though he's trying to extend himself to try and get on the end of it, it's just got a bit too much loft on it. It's a decent delivery, though, from Wolves. As we say, Arsenal so dominant from set pieces themselves, but you can never rule Wolves out of getting on their own.
Wolves certainly have got a couple of players that can be dangerous in front of goal. And as we say, the start that Vitor Pereira made was a good one. The 3-0 win away to Leicester. And I did commentary of their 2-0 win at home to Manchester United. There were certainly value for wins in both of those games. But it has just... just as I say that, though, a bit of a mix-up at the back here for Jose Sarr. It was a ball played back to him. He was a little bit too laid back on it, and he almost loses it. He just about scrambles it away from his own 6-yard box. And now Agbadou playing the ball back into his own penalty area, and Wolves do give it away in midfield. It's chaos here from the home side, but then an early ball from Rice. I think it's the intended target left it for Havertz. Havertz then thought he might be offside, so in the end nobody gets a hold of it. But this is Doherty playing it back to Jose Sarr. I mean, Sarr's got to do better there because there were enough Arsenal players, but he also had enough time to get rid of that one. Yeah, it's
incredibly pedestrian in the end from Sarr. Just doesn't really show that urgency that he should. He's got Havertz breathing down his neck. It takes far too long in it in the end, and he's lucky that he managed to just about clear it. But you've got to be more careful when you're playing a team like Arsenal.
You do, and we've got our first goal in the Premier League this afternoon. It's come at the Vitality, where young Justin Kluivert has given Bournemouth the lead against Nottingham Forest. But meanwhile, here come Arsenal again with Trossard breaking into the area down the left-hand side. The ball is blocked, and now it's a chance here for Wolves to go on the attack. And it's a great run down the right-hand side from Nelson Semedo, who gets all the way to the Arsenal penalty area. It's an early ball into the box. He's blazed over the bar. It would have been a fabulous goal from Pablo Sarabia, who has got an excellent left foot. But it's a strike that goes over the bar. But it would have been a fabulous assist from Semedo, who picks the ball up at the edge of his own box.
Yeah, unbelievable wing play that that is from Semedo. I think when he's on that halfway line, you're just expecting the Arsenal defenders to catch up, eventually deal with him. He keeps going, puts an absolute peach of a cross over towards Sarabia, and on his left foot, you are expecting that to just be bulging in the net a moment later, but just can't keep it down, and in the end, Arsenal survive.
They do, but potentially a shock down on the south coast, because it's an early goal for Southampton against Newcastle. Southampton lead against Newcastle through a Jan Bednarek goal, so still plenty of time in that one. But Southampton have been showing little signs. They are showing more fight in the last few games. You do feel it's going to be a little too late to survive this season, but at least they're making a bit more of a fist of it as the ball goes out for a throw to Arsenal now down the left hand side. About 11 minutes on the clock. Unofficial independent off-tube shooter commentary. It is goalless here at Molineaux, but arguably the best chance of the game has actually come to Wolves with that strike from Sarabia. Arsenal very nearly getting a gift of a goal after Jose Sarr got himself into some difficulties at the edge of his own 6-yard box. Liverpool, perhaps on no surprise, they've taken an early lead against Ipswich. Dominic Szoboszlai with the goal there. And Arsenal now having to play the ball back to David Raya as Cunha's pressing at the edge of the area. Raya just a gentle pass out towards Thomas Partey. Arsenal are very confident in their play out from the back because there were Wolves players lurking at the edge of the area. It's now played back towards Thomas Partey. Over the halfway line now goes Lewis Skelly, and there was a good challenge in the end to take the ball off him. It was Andre that wins the ball for Wolves, and now it's down towards Semedo on the right-hand side. He gets the ball to Cunha, right-hand edge of the area. He puts a cross in. It's a good header away. Drops at the edge of the area. Rice is there first for Arsenal, and he can start a move now for the Gunners, playing one out towards the right-hand side. Havertz, though, shows too much of that to Agbadou, and it's out for a throw. But the game's picking up in pace now. Yeah,
Wolves have actually made a real positive response to the first opening minutes. It looked like it could be a bit of a long afternoon when they were playing it, around the back, being a bit too sloppy. Arsenal pressing them out at the pitch, but in the last few moments or so, they've really stepped onto Arsenal. Semedo's looking really dangerous down that right-hand side. Saw him put the cross in for a Sarabia. He was involved again there as they came forward. Just didn't really fall for them in the end, but yeah, Vitor Pereira will be really encouraged by the way that his side have come out here.
Yeah, he'll be very pleased that they've responded, because it certainly looked like the first few minutes Arsenal were really going to try and dominate proceedings here. But Semedo now with a clearance as Trossard tried to get something started for Arsenal down the left-hand side. The next game for Wolves will be on the 1st of February. That will be next Saturday. They play against Aston Villa in the evening kickoff, followed by a game against Blackburn in the FA Cup, whereas Arsenal be playing against Girona in midweek in the Champions League before Manchester City come to the Emirates next weekend. But here come the Gunners now on the attack with Nweri playing it square now to Timber, who dropped into a more central role this time. Timber now over towards the left-hand side, I should say, here for Skelly, and now a ball into the box. It's taken down here by Rice, and he wants just a little bit too much time. I think it's been kept in play just about by Jose Sarr. It won't even be a corner, but it's Declan Rice who finds himself in that advanced position. And the first touch, in fact the second touch, is the one where he probably just gets the ball, lets that ball get away from him. Yeah,
it's probably one of the players in the Arsenal team that you least want in that area, not because of the quality of Declan Rice, but also because it's on his left foot as well. He can't really get the strike away that he wants to do. You think maybe on the other side he might have a better chance, but yeah, it's good in the end from Wolves just to keep him out and shepherd him out, but dangerous from Arsenal.
Arsenal now in possession on the halfway line here. Timber and Saliba exchanging passes, and over now towards the left-hand side. Gabriel trying a long ball to pick out Trossard. That was easily dealt with though by Doherty. Heads it out for a throw to Arsenal down the left-hand side. It's Miles Lewis-Skelly now waiting to restart play. Really has made that left side his own in the last 6 or 7 games. Have dropped into that Arsenal team, and doesn't look like he's going to give that position up now.
No, absolutely not. He's really made it his own, hasn't he, on that left side. I don't think many people expected him to come on and play the way he has, but he looks so much off for his age, and yeah, fair play to him. He's doing a great job.
Absolutely, yeah, with all the talent Arsenal can bring in. It's always good to see a couple of their youth players getting into the team as well, as it's Trossard now being put under pressure, and I think he was brought down there by Nelson Semedo. Wolves captain with a slightly frustrated look there, but I think that can only be towards himself. There doesn't seem to be too much doubt in the decision there. So it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal in a position where they can certainly look to try and get a ball into the box. And we know this is where Arsenal can be very dangerous and Wolves can be very open.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to use this advantage that they have, Arsenal. Gabriel and Saliba, obviously massive threats at the set pieces. Other players as well that can do a job, like Rice trying to clean up in there. So Wolves have got to be tight with the marking. Have just got to make sure they deal with whatever Arsenal throw at them.
Yeah, Arsenal in a sort of a bunch here at the far post, around 10-12 yards out from goal. They will be. They all start to move once this ball is played in. Can't see Saliba though. He must be one of the players asked to stay back, but it's been taken short. And then it's played down towards the left-hand side, across into the penalty area. The initial ball is only sort of flicked up in the air before it finally drops, and this time it is hooked long by Sarabia over the halfway line, where David Raya has allowed himself a long way away from his own goal, just to come and sweep up here for Arsenal. Is it square to Saliba? Now it's Thomas Partey pushing down the right-hand side here for Urian Timber. Wolves, as soon as they lose the ball, in fairness to them, they are trying to play as high an offside line as they can just to make it difficult for Arsenal, but Gunners have still made it down the right-hand side here towards Gabriel Martinelli. His pass is deflected away and back into midfield here for Thomas Partey. Possession stat after 16 minutes, 33% for Wolves, 67% for Arsenal. But now, as the ball is played up towards Havertz at the edge of the area, he loses his balance. It's then played to Jose Sa, whose long clearance up towards the half line is headed forward by Saliba. And Arsenal trying to get on the attack here again. It's with Havertz, gets towards the edge of the area, runs into Agbadou, but that's all it was. There's no foul. And then it's Andre trying to help out in defence. The ball is played towards Pablo Sarabia, and then Cunha. This is much better from Wolves now, and a nice switch there as well over towards the right-hand side from Andre. Now Nelson Semedo just holding it up. But once Wolves get on the ball, they look like a completely different side. I'll get your thoughts now in a second, because Cunha's carried on his run down the right-hand side. Rice with the challenge. He puts it out for a throw. And it's Wolves on the attack. But when they get on the ball, they look like a confident team. When they're not on the ball, they look like they're almost like waiting to concede. Yeah,
really positive play there from Wolves. I thought they'd got themselves into a bit of a hole at the back, and with Arsenal's press, thought might be a chance of the turnover. But in the end, they play it out really well and managed to get on the counter-attack. Good play in midfield again. You've got the quality of Wolves to play that sort of football, and we're seeing it in possession. It's just that outside of it, they are looking a little bit more vulnerable.
They are, and they've given a free kick away there just as they were getting on the attack as well. Semedo just leaving a bit of a foot there on Miles Lewis-Skelly, so it's a free kick to Arsenal, which the Gunners will be very happy about, because it just takes the sting out of Wolves' a bit of attacking possession. Now played back towards Gabriel. Square to Saliba. To try and get forward here is Nweri, and he's asking a lot of his of Declan Rice there. He's going to chase that one all the way to the edge of the area. But in fairness to Agbadou, he had a big head start there. He does get there first, keeps his composure and finds a good ball down the left here for Nuri. He also does well, and he's over the halfway line now. He's got support from Strand Larsen. Just holds it up, plays it inside now to Cunha, who has no options here on the right-hand side. Semedo is only just arriving now. Sarabia now holds it up in midfield and goes out towards Nelson Semedo. No option of an overlap either, so he plays it back in towards Andre. Just a positional play now from Wolves, but at least it's not Arsenal in possession inside their own half, and it's over towards Nelson Semedo. He thinks about an early ball. It is an early ball. In fact, it's a bit too early. No one in the penalty area. Strand Larsen was the closest, but Raya makes an easy save.
Yeah, again, though, it's exactly what we're referring to. Wolves in possession, they look more than comfortable when having a go at Arsenal. Obviously, the ball there in the end from Semedo's not really to a Wolves player, but warning signs are there for Arsenal. It's not going to be an easy walk in the park. I don't think they'll have ever expected that coming to Molineaux, but Wolves are definitely going to give them a go of it this game.
Certainly are. As I say, Wolves with 3 straight Premier League defeats going into this game. There is a win away to Bristol City in the FA Cup in the midst of all of that, but 3-0 at home to Nottingham Forest, 3-0 away to Newcastle, and 3-1 away to Chelsea. 9 goals conceded in the last 3 Premier League games, and the fact that they're trying to keep it tighter against Arsenal is no surprise, but the Gunners are trying again here now. Martinelli over to Trossard on the left, and his ball into the box, headed in by, I was about to say it's headed in by Havertz, it's headed wide by Havertz in the end. He gets into a good position, he's almost hoping to see if he's offside, because he knows that's a good chance and he really should be scoring.
Yeah, well, I was in the exact same boat as you there, Paul. I thought that had rustled into the back of the net, but just shows you if you sleep for one moment against Arsenal, this is what they can do. Havertz uses his height really well. It's a good ball in from the left from Trossard. Gets the connection. It's just a bit wide. I think Jose might just have that covered anyway. But again, yeah, positive that from Arsenal.
Yeah, you're right. I think he almost sort of tucked his arms in at the end, Jose Sa, once he realises it is going wide. But it's still a decent chance. And Wolves now getting themselves into a bit of a mess here at the back once again, with Arsenal pressing as they insist on playing out from the back. Havertz forcing the ball out for a throw. It is going to be a throw on to Wolves, but they've still got a lot of work to do to get the ball away from their own penalty area. Agbadou now leaving it for Nuri. Back to Agbadou, under pressure there from Martinelli. Playing it back to Jose Sa. There's 2 Arsenal players at the edge of the area, but Arsenal plays it out towards Doherty. Back towards the goalkeeper again, and it's a long clearance this time from Jose Sarr. It's bounced away from Noweri, but it's still kept alive here for Arsenal by Saliba, who can play it back towards goalkeeper David Raya. That's the thing for Wolves. I think that they much prefer to play out from the back, but it's an issue for them to do it every time because there's always going to be the chance that Arsenal can win it back. But then if they play it long, there's even less chance of them holding onto the ball, really.
Yeah, exactly. They're caught in that sort of dilemma at the moment, aren't they, of whether to go direct or whether to just try and play through that Arsenal press. Obviously, going direct, as you say, does give the ball straight away to Arsenal. They do look shaky when they're coming at them, but I mean, they look comfortable when they can play it outwards. I would like to see that more from Wolves. You know, they've got the quality to do it.
They certainly do. And as they're looking at their next few fixtures in the Premier League, they're home to Villa, then they're away to Liverpool, and then they're away to Bournemouth. So it's going to be a tough few games for them, really. And anything they can pick up in those matches, if they can at least maintain this shape and try and be as much of an attacking threat as possible, is what they have to do, because so they are far too deep in relegation trouble to just write those games off as saying that they're playing against sides from nearer the top of the league. But here come Arsenal now with Trossard down the left-hand side, edge of the area now, puts a cross into the box, which is way too close to Jose Sarr. A couple of steps forward and a comfortable save in the end for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, similar position to where he's just put that ball in for Havertz. This time doesn't really have the exact same pinpoint accuracy in the whip. In the end, it's just a comfortable claim for Sarr, but Trossard getting more involved. You do want to see that from Trossard as well. I feel like throughout his time at Arsenal, although he's probably paid his price tag for what they paid, there has always been a question of whether he could do it a little bit more, so hoping to see that from him in this game.
Yeah, it's hard with Trossard, really. What is his best position? Is he an out-and-out winger? Is he a sort of like loose number 10? Is he a number 9? I think he's probably a little bit of all of those, isn't he? And it's quite difficult to sort of get him into that one position, but certainly we know what he can do with set pieces and from open play. He's a very dangerous player going forward. But as you mentioned, perhaps just that consistency sometimes lacking a little bit with Trossard. Of course, when you're at a big club like Arsenal, if you have 2 bad games, you get dropped, and then you've got to try and sort of get your way back into the team. But here come Wolves now, as Cunha's ball towards Strand Larsen is blocked in midfield there by Gabriel. He then plays it back to David Raya. Long clearance from him up towards the halfway line. Martinelli doesn't win that header, and it's a little bit of misplaced pass there from João Gomez. Don't say that very often, but he was about 2 yards away from his teammate there, Sarabia. Now Arsenal looking to go on the counter with a lovely ball from Trossard into the penalty area. Martinelli was chasing that one, but it's also well tracked by by the Uruguayan Santi Bueno, who then is able to get that ball back towards his goalkeeper. Pressing there at the edge of the Wolves penalty area, but still a decent pace to the game, but neither side able to sort of get things going up front, really.
Yeah, you saw that then. I thought that was a great ball from Trossard, just as we were touching on him. Not
outside
exactly,
of the boot as well.
Yeah, not really doing enough. He plays a fantastic ball forward to Martinelli, who just can't really keep it under control and create a chance from it. He saw it with Wolves as well, just a moment before that, a bit sloppy. It was João Gomez who, you're right, we are used to seeing him play a lot more crisper passes than that. I think Cunha did it just a moment before. When Wolves get forward like that, they've got to make the most of it. They've got to be creating chances like the one for Sarabia, because they are going to come far and few in between.
Well, that's it, and it's almost like with Arsenal, they can afford a misplaced pass or two because they're going to get more chances to find Havertz or find Martinelli later in the game, whereas with Wolves, you just feel if they haven't got a counter-attack and they can get the ball to Cunha or Strand Larsen, they need to do it, because it might be a while before they can do it again. But it's with Ait Nouri now on the left-hand side, back towards Agbadou. And he finds a pass into midfield here for Sarabia, being closed down, but he's still able to get the ball out towards Doherty on the right-hand side. Held up here by Semedo. Now we're switching play over towards the left-hand side. Good header away, though, by Timber. Now it's Martinelli trying to get things started for Arsenal. Runs into a line of 3 Wolves players. And it's Timber now and Saliba just swapping passes at the edge of the area. It's Noweri does really well to get that ball away from 2 Wolves players. And suddenly Arsenal are on the counter. And it's with Rice out towards Trossard. Trossard's ball into the box. Oh, it's a great save from Jose Sarr. It's Havertz with the header, but the goalkeeper makes an instinctive save and he pushes the ball away. So that was a really good save from Sarr. Arsenal looking close to getting the lead there, but on 24 minutes it is still goalless. Wolves against Arsenal. It will be Josh to take us through to half-time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. Just seeing there the quality that Arsenal have. It's a great counter-attack from the Gunners, ending in that header from Havertz. Maybe a bit down the centre, but still take nothing away from Jose Sarr as the ball comes in from Trossard, headed away by Agbadou on this occasion. Now potentially a counter-attack for Wolves as Cunha has the ball in the middle of the park. He's just waiting for the run of his fellow attacking players. Here is Sarabia. There is the potential for an attack. Sarabia, again a sloppy pass. They're doing it a few times now, aren't they, Wolves? When they're getting that chance for the counter-attack, it's just sort of the passes just isn't there in the final third.
No, it's not. That's what's been letting them down, is that pass from midfield into attack on at least 3 occasions has let them down, and they've only had probably 4 or 5 occasions to get forward in the whole half, so they've got to use that bit of attacking possession better than that.
Yeah, now here is Arsenal on the counter-attack. Gabriel Martinelli on the right-hand side. You've seen him earlier on, more on the left, but here he is cutting inside now. It's Ranieri. Cross towards the back post. Trossard's trying to get underneath it. Semedo does well to cover in the end. Can't clear it though. Trossard picks it up on the left wing. He's got Rice in support. Partey's next to him. Rice does find Partey in the end. Maybe lining up the shot from range in the end. High and wide and not really troubling at Jose Sarr.
No, well, after all of that build-up, it's an effort that goes a long way over. But it now finally gives us a chance to see the replay of that Arsenal effort from a few moments earlier, where he does well to hold it up. But then it's Rice over towards the left-hand side, and Jose Sarr does very well.
Yeah, it's a brilliant save. It just stays on side there, Havertz as well. Can credit him for that as well. But Trossard, I mean, we mentioned a few minutes ago that he wasn't really doing enough in an Arsenal shirt. He's been involved in 2 of their closest attacks since we mentioned that. There has been another goal in the Premier League. Newcastle have levelled it up at St Mary's against Southampton. It's, well, who's surprised to see that? Alexander Isak on the score sheet again as Arsenal come forward. Martinelli goes down. Potentially a VAR intervention. Havertz. So it was Martinelli who did go down under the challenge from Agbadou. Enough in that one for you, Paul?
Well, it's one of these where the contact seems strong enough, but then, I mean, arguably it starts inside the D rather than inside the box. And as I say, I mean, different referees and different footballers have a different idea of what shoulder to shoulder means. But I would imagine that's probably just about all right, I think. We'll see again from this angle as that ball is played in. I mean, he's sort of shepherding him away, but I'd be surprised if VAR came along and gave a penalty for that.
Yeah, far too soft, I think, for the VAR to get involved in that one. It was good, though, from Martinelli, just trying to take it down in the end. Agbadou showing his strength. See, a January signing for Wolves came from the French League. He's been involved ever since. As Wolves win the ball back, halfway into the Arsenal half. Here's Cunha on the left-hand side. Finds his teammate Gomez. Back to Cunha now. He's got Aitnari just to his left. Wolves happen to just sort of walk. There's not much pace to the game at the moment. As Wolves maybe just trying to keep hold of the ball. Arsenal obviously applied the pressure in the last 5 minutes or so. They've created a couple of chances for Kai Havertz. His 2 headers, not being able to find the goal, but he has put 1 on target. Here is Agbadou, finds Aitnari on the left side. Not really any way through at the moment for Wolves. Maybe just happy to keep the ball for a change. It has obviously been Arsenal in control of most of the possession. Gomez playing a few balls back and forth between Agbadou. Eventually goes towards the inside. He finds Bueno on the right side. Sorry, Matt Doherty, who plays ball forward down the right wing, looking for Nelson Semedo, the captain. He's trying to get involved. Both players eventually take a tumble. It is Lewis Skelly for Arsenal who wins the free kick. But yeah, another sustained spell of possession there for Wolves, but not really anything coming on.
Well, it's been a theme in this game, hasn't it? They've struggled really to get that final ball into the box. And just as we say that, they open up in midfield, and here come Arsenal. Yeah,
here is Trossard on the left side, looking to have a go at Matt Doherty. Trossard gets the ball in with his left. It's headed away by Bueno, only as far as Gabriel, who comes out to collect it. So it's Miles Skelly. Rice now on the left side. 28 minutes gone, still 0-0 at Molineaux. Rice looking to come inside and find the ball. Here's Joran Timber trying to keep it in. He will do. He's got Aitnari who's come out to defend him. Timber just looking for another red shirt in the end. Just find one in Saliba. It's now Thomas Partey on the edge of the area. Finds Rice to his left. Rice will shift it over to his left eventually, I'd imagine. He does. Goes towards Lewis Skelly. Back to Trossard, who's been getting more involved as the game's gone on. Trossard marked out well by Semedo at the moment. Goes for the forward pass in the end. It can't find a red shirt again. It's snuffed out by Andre, and again maybe chance for Wolves to counter attack. Strand Larsen's giving Gabriel a bit of a tough time there as Gabriel just clears it into touch. And there was a big issue here potentially for Wolves. I think that is Strand Larsen who has gone down.
He has, and just the body language already looks bad here from the big man. It looks like he's felt something in his hamstring there, and he's lying down on the ground. He's got his hands over his eyes there, and he's probably going to have to say that's the end of his afternoon. But immediately Hwan Hee-chan is getting ready to come on as well. But it must be that's the case that as soon as Strand Larsen went after that ball, he must have realised that something was up. And the Wolves, their physios are out to speak to him now, but it doesn't look good for him, does it?
Yeah, whenever you see an injury like that where there's not really any contact between the two players, you do always feel that it is game over for that player. It looked like he knew it as soon as he collapsed to the floor. He was in a bit of a in a bit of agony, knew his game was over. So just on the half an hour mark, Wolves look like they're going to be forced into the first change of the game. Just as I say that, Newcastle have taken the lead at St Mary's. Again, what a surprise, it's Alexander Isak who puts them in front on this occasion. So Southampton's early goal has been reduced there.
Yeah, it has, yeah. It's almost like Southampton just angered Newcastle by getting that early goal, and now a normal service has been resumed. The full bench for Wolves, by the way, is Pedro Lima, Doyle, Bellegarde, Gonzalo Guedes, Toti Gomez, Dawson, Juan Hee-chan, Rodrigo Gomez, and goalkeeper Johnston. So we'll wait and see whether or not he can play on Strand Larsen, but it doesn't look good for the time being. Arsenal's bench is Tierney, Kivior, Calafiori, Jorginho, Zinchenko, Butler, Ayedi, Sterling, Porter, and goalkeeper Neto. So those are the two benches this afternoon. But yeah, all this just the way Strand Larsen initially reacted. We'll see from well, in fact, we're getting a replay of that good chance that he had earlier with that fabulous ball in from Semedo. And then it was Sarabia with the effort, wasn't it? And he catches it nice, but it was just, if anything, if he takes that same shot with the same power but stands 3 or 4 yards further out, it probably goes in.
Yeah, it does, and we're probably talking about a potential, goal of the month contender. The way Wolves worked that initial chance was so pleasing to watch. Semedo using his pace, going forward, does really well. The Wolves captain finds that pinpoint pass, but in the end, Sarabia just gets his effort a little bit wrong. And they were encouraged by that as well, Wolves. I think that gave them the confidence to play, and they've obviously kept Arsenal out for the most part. There's not been many changes.
No, there hasn't, but confirmation now that he can't play on here. The big Norwegian, Jorgen Strand Larsen, is off, and it's South Korean international Juan Hee-chan on to replace him.
Yeah, and he looks pretty devastated going off there, Strand Larsen. Do hope that it isn't a long injury for him. He's obviously had a strong season for Wolves, been scoring the goals for them.
He has, and I say, but the thing is, players know, don't they? Sometimes when it's just, if it is a muscle tear or any kind of muscle strain, you know that that's not going to be something that's a spray can just neutralise. He is going to have to wait a number of weeks, and of course, season doesn't wait for you, so he's going to be very frustrated. He's been an important part of Wolves' recovery recently, so he'll be devastated that he can't play on. But it is what it is now. And Juan Hee-chan, of course, he's got some big goals for Wolves as well, so it's a chance for him now to try and do something up front.
Yeah, really a chance for him to play his stake forward and try and cement that striker's position down for the time that he's injured. Well, the game has gotten back underway. Saw Jose Sa with a loose pass out again there. So Arsenal did win a throw-in up the pitch. They've got it again now. It's Wanyeri trying to find Kai Havertz. Timber's gone down now for Arsenal. We'll see about that in a moment. But Wolves are counter-attacking. Potentially numbers forward with Timber injured. Here's Kunyu's fortunately found that one for himself. And then he tries to find Wang, but just can't find the pass.
Well, he's unhappy there, Cunha, with Juan Hee-chan. I mean, give the substitute a few seconds just to find himself on the pitch. But obviously, Cunha, like anyone else, wants to Wolves to do as well as possible, as quickly as possible. We'll just see from this replay whether Juan Hee-chan should have read his teammates' intentions a bit better. I mean, arguably you could say that the pass from Cunha is probably going in the wrong place anyway. He should be playing it into the channel where Chan's running. Yeah,
I'm not really sure why Cunha's having such a go at Juan Hee-chan. I think it's definitely his mistake. The pass is way behind him. Even if Huang's set off a bit too quick, it's a poor pass. And seeing now Yor and Timber's in a bit of agony for Arsenal, so both sides potentially being forced into early changes here.
We'll see what's happened with Timber as he's taken the throw, and then as he's gotten into a bit of a tussle here with Ait Nouri, I think it's actually potentially running into that brick wall that is Ethan Ampadu. I think he is Agbadu, I should say. I think running into him has just caused him some problems there with his shoulder.
Yeah, it was quite a high-speed collision. He wasn't able to stop himself, and he just sort of ran full strength into Agbadu. Fortunately for Timber, looks like he'll be able to continue. He's back to his feet and walking. So, unlike Wolves, Arsenal not been forced into that early change. Mikel Arteta just ponders how he can get his side in front here. It has been about the start you might have expected. Arsenal have created better of the two chances, but there's still nothing clear cut.
Well, I was just thinking that as well. Just that if you think about how the game's gone, the first few minutes seemed like Arsenal were going to absolutely steamroll Wolves, but since then it's been an even game with Arsenal seeing more of the ball. But arguably, I mean, Jose Sa has had to make one good save, and he's had a little bit of housekeeping to do in terms of clearing the ball away. But other than that, you have to say that it's been a lot of midfield build-up without actually too many clear-cut chances passed away. Then again, Rice plays one over the top to absolutely no one at all. There's no one within 20 yards of that pass. Yeah,
you can see Mikel Arteta getting really frustrated by passes like that, as a poor ball out from Hazard is only as far as Declan Rice. Trossard picks the ball up, but he's not really going anywhere at the moment. Some few Wolves players around him. Just find Martinelli well in the end on the right side. Trossard is in a bit of space again to receive it, but Martinelli just delays it. Agbadou forces him out, does well in the end, the Wolves defender, and Arsenal have to go back to Saliba. So now with Partey on the right hand side, Cunha drags him down, referee plays advantage. Ranieri's tackled, the referee will call that back though for the foul.
He will, yeah. He wanted to see if Arsenal got anything from that, but there wasn't anything happening, so they'll take the free kick. You can still see a couple of the Wolves players are getting very animated there, and it's João Gomez in particular trying to get something across to Michael Oliver. Looks like maybe he's just done a little bit too much there as well, because there is going to be a booking here for the Brazilian. But frustration there for Wolves, because obviously they don't want to give Arsenal any kind of encouragement, any kind of opportunity to get further forward. And this free kick guys do have a chance, but Gomez there, he certainly wanted to get his point across to the referee. Yeah,
it was a bit of a harsh yellow card, I thought. It wasn't really going anywhere, was Martinelli, when he dragged him down. It's can see the frustration and what he thinks about it.
Is it maybe just the fact that he's reacted, I think, here as well?
Yeah,
I mean, he's thrown his arms up in the air, although, considering what we lip read some footballers saying to referees in games, I think he's probably, you're probably right, he has probably been treated a bit harshly, but it's just a little bit too much of a process there.
Yeah, Arsenal will take this resulting free kick now with Declan Rice. Ball goes in, it's headed away in the end by Wolves, and again, Sarabia underneath it now against Saliba, and in the end, referee Michael Oliver is judging that there is a foul in there. Liverpool have doubled their lead against Ipswich. 37 minutes in there, it's Mo Salah who's got the second one.
It's usual suspects all over the league so far this afternoon, isn't it? 2 for Isak for Newcastle, Salah scores for Liverpool, Kluivert scores for Bournemouth. It's our game here at Molineaux, Wolves, Arsenal and Brighton, Everton. They're the only 2 games in the Premier League that are still goalless this afternoon. It's a free kick to Wolves now, a bit of a strong challenge there from William Saliba. It's a chance now for the home side, but knowing Wolves, they're probably going to want to take this short here just to try and start possession inside their own half. This is where it's been difficult for them actually. When they've won the ball off Arsenal and tried to go on a counter, that's when they've done their best passing. But when they're sort of playing out from the back from a free kick or a goal kick, that's when Arsenal just seem to be ready for it all. Yeah,
they're just in their positions, aren't they? And they can't really find a way through. Obviously Arsenal are so good defensively, and they're showing that here. And then once again we see it there, 4 pass out from Wolves. Here's Thomas Partey now, tries to find Kai Havertz. The pass is a bit heavy. Tim was trying to pick it up. In the end, Gomez does well to keep it out, and Wolves trying to play out now, but they've made a mistake there. There is a foul on the edge of the penalty area. I think it's Andre who's gone in late on Declan Rice. Wouldn't be surprised if there is potentially another card, but Michael Oliver keeping the cards in his pocket this time, but a really good chance here for the set piece for Arsenal.
It is, absolutely. Well, it's just that's the trouble, isn't it? If they're gonna do passing out from the back, I mean, really, I think even if Vitor Pereira trains them that all week, he'd probably prefer them to just hoof it along than to try and get themselves into the kind of mess they've just got themselves into there. Because this is just a gift of possession for Arsenal, a gift of a set piece in a very good position.
Yeah, really dangerous position this for Arsenal. It's just on the edge of the area towards the centre. So we'll see what they can do with it. You imagine it is a shooting opportunity. Declan Rice, the man who was fouled in the build-up, maybe it will be him to strike the ball. There is a big conversation between about 4 or 5 Arsenal players over who's going to take this. Obviously, I think if Martin Odegaard is on the pitch, he's stepping up for this one, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I mean, Arsenal was certainly going to miss his left foot in a position like this. There's a huddle of Arsenal players now discussing what to do with this free kick. And yeah, I'm trying to work out really who the most likely taker would be. I mean, it's in a pretty central position, so certainly the right footer might still fancy a go. It may well be that Martinelli wants a go. It may be that Declan Rice fancies a go as well. Jose Sark trying to get that wall organised. There is going to be a man lying down just behind the wall as well to stop any potential low strikes. But yeah, in fact, still Rice and Trossard and Nueri standing over it, and maybe Timber standing there, maybe Saliba standing there, I should say, as somebody just going to try and a pile driver.
Yeah, it looked like something out of an American football game for a moment there. The whole team was sort of hurdled in on this discussion about the free kick, but it's been reduced to 3 players now as they get ready to strike the ball. It looks like Rice has stepped away. It's going to be either Trossard with his right foot or Nueri with his left. Still a bit of a discussion going on. It is Nueri who strikes up, it's into the wall. On the follow-up as well, it's blocked by Wolves, and a bit of a waste there for Arsenal. Saliba loses the ball out. Here come Wolves on the counter-attack where they have been dangerous so far. It's Cunha just over the middle way point of the half, looking for that pass to Sarabia ahead of him. He can't find him. Cunha now on the right. It's slowed down a bit this for Wolves, and Arsenal have got players back And that's what we're talking about, really. They need to make use of on the counter, don't they?
They do. I mean, the move still carries on it down the right. The ball does come into the penalty area, but it's hooked clear by Saliba, and the loose ball drops into Noweri. It's ironic, isn't it, when Cunha was complaining to his teammates earlier about getting a pass out. On this occasion, he's probably guilty of holding on to it a little bit too long. I think initially it was a good idea to just allow his teammates to join him, but then there was a chance to just try and keep that move going a little bit quicker. Now Arsenal do have it back. We're getting word of a penalty at the Amex. It's Brighton 0, Everton 0, but a penalty to the Toffees. That could be a big moment for them in that game.
Yeah, and we will bring you news of whether that penalty goes in or not. Arsenal do have the throw in here on this near side, as we can see on our screens. With Timber, plays it in. It's Partey, gets the header over towards the Wolves defence. Agbadou clears it only as far as Martinelli, and then Wolves eventually winning the throw in to get themselves out of play. So it's still goalless at Molineaux. Only game in the Premier League that is goalless so far, as we await the penalty at Brighton. But Arsenal have got a chance here. They've thrown the ball high up the pitch. It's Martinelli, and Agbadou does well to defend it in the end. And now Nori will come forward for Wolves. Tries to find his teammate. I think it was Sarabia in the middle. It's a poor pass again from Nori. Just couldn't find the right man. And Arsenal do win possession back. Still waiting news of that penalty kick at Goodison. It might have at the Amex, sorry. Here's Manieri though, going forward for Arsenal, pings it off the foot of Havertz. It does come to Martinelli, quite fortunately for him. Here he is, he's got Trossard to his left, see what he can do about it. Trossard on the left. Plenty of numbers back though for Wolves. It's Rice on the edge of the area, maybe lining one up. Instead checks back onto his left. Rice advances in towards the penalty area, he gets fouled. Miles Skelly puts the ball across. Good defending from Semedo, puts it out for a corner.
Yeah, it is going to be a corner kick here to Wolves, so Arsenal just slowly starting to turn the screw again. Now it's they've had limited set pieces in this game, and we know that they are dangerous from it. I've had to say limited set pieces. This is in fact their first corner, which it's quite incredible really when you think of the start that Arsenal had. The fact that we're at 41.5 minutes and it's their first corner.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something they will have emphasised as well, being good with the corners. We all know how effective they are at set pieces, but not really making use of it so far. Will be the in-swinging corner. There is the option for Nwaneri, who's just completely free next to the corner take. However, see Arsenal players lining up at the back post. There's 5 of them are waiting for this. They all do come into the centre eventually. It's a really poor delivery though from the corner towards the front post. Wolves clear it and they're potentially going to the attack there. Doherty, well, he was bursting out. It looks like it's going to be a yellow card. It is for Lewis Skelly.
Oh, it's a red card. It's a red card. Goodness me. Well, we'll see whether VAR gets involved. I mean, the Arsenal players, no surprise, are surrounding the referee now here, Josh. But this is, I mean, Noweri can't believe this. Arteta is looking across in shock. I mean, unless he's given the red card because he sees that there's some intent. I mean, is it dangerous play? I mean, you can't really say he's stopping a counter-attack when the foul is, at the edge of the D of his own penalty area. But let's have a look at this again as the ball is hooked up in the air. And it's Lewis Skelly, I beg your pardon. He's the one that's gone in, but
it can't be for last man. It's on the edge of the Wolves.
Has he trodden down? That's a trip. I don't see any kind of malicious kick out there from Lewis Skelly. We'll see from this angle. No, that's a trip. That's not a red card.
This is not a red card. I would be amazed if VAR doesn't intervene here. That is. I'm not sure what Michael Oliver sees here.
If VAR doesn't intervene, they set a dangerous precedent, really, because. We know that VAR doesn't like to sort of beat up its mate who's on the pitch and let's not bring him over to the monitor too often. But that's not a red card. I mean, he's tripped a man, and it's a deliberate foul, but it's a deliberate foul for a yellow card. It's at the edge of... there's a yellow card now for one of the Arsenal players who are protesting. But I'm not surprised that Noweri's not sort of charging off the pitch. So Lewis Skelly's not charging off the pitch because he'll be assuming that VAR can still save him here.
Yeah, I mean, he looked pretty relaxed after the foul was given. He didn't. I mean, we only saw like one little snippet of him really, but he seemed pretty confident just to take the yellow card before Michael Oliver did brandish the red card out of nowhere. Lewis Skelly is making his way.
He's off. Yeah, I mean,
towards the touchline.
As I say, when Howard Webb gets his script for his next referee mic'd up show, it'll be interesting to see what he says. Well, I tell you what, the super slow mo has now shown us that there is a little bit of stud on the. He's got studs treading down a bit on Doherty, but we're clutching at straws really. I mean, it still doesn't feel like the most blatant red card to me, and Mikel Arteta has got that sort of calm fury about him now that he's just like, I'm not saying anything, but you can see that he's fuming, and you can see Lewis Skelly asking the fourth official, Arteta making sure that Lewis Skelly gets away from that fourth official. But I'll tell you what, I mean, you only have to look at the game last week between Brentford and Liverpool, where there was a clear second yellow card for Darwin Núñez. They didn't even show that on Match of the Day in the highlights afterwards, but he clearly deserved to get sent off there, and he didn't. And then you see this where there's barely I mean, it is a straight yellow without a doubt for Lewis Skelly, but it's never a red card, that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw with João Pedro as well. He's escaped a few red card offences.
There was the intent of an elbow against Brentford, and then there was the sort of the leaning out of the goalkeeper as well. But we're into 7 minutes of injury time at the end of this first half.
Yeah, no surprise to see that many minutes added on. There was a massive bit of commotion after that red card was given. Arsenal players absolutely incensed at the decision from Michael Oliver, but he has been backed up by VAR. Well, I mean, there'll be a big debate about that afterwards, I'm sure, whether it was a red card or not. But the game does continue, and Wolves have now got a very, well, what looks like, they've got that man advantage. They might think they can go on and win this game.
Well, it is going to change the nature of this game, that's for sure. We'll see whether or not Arsenal want to make a substitution, but here come Wolves now.
Yeah, it's Cunha, finds Hwang Hee-chan. Cunha trying to receive the ball back. In the end, Arsenal can clear, but as you can see already, the intent has changed here. Wolves piling the numbers forward at the end of the first half. Here they are now with Andre just outside the area. Finds Gomez, he's sloppy on it though, and it gives it away to Arsenal. They do win it back though, Wolves. It's Semedo, he's got Sarabia to his left. Semedo now on the right. Sarabia in that position where Miles Skelly would be. You can see the space already. Semedo tries to get a ball over towards the box. Sorry, Raya just claims it comfortably in the end.
Yeah, an easy one there for David Raya. But yeah, we expect now Wolves to step up a little bit here and to really try and have a go at Arsenal. They'll feel that confidence now that they have got a man advantage. Just thinking as to whether they're going to ask Trossard maybe to drop into the left back role, or already we can see this. It's going to require a little bit of a rejig here from Arsenal, but I'm still trying to process that red card. I'm not happy with it. I still think that it's, and on Lewis Skelly as well, a young player like that, I think it's the wrong decision. You could argue that he shouldn't have that as part of his sort of makeup as a player. He shouldn't be looking to try and deliberately foul an opponent, but I still don't think it was a red card.
Yeah, it is a really harsh one, and obviously now plenty of headaches for Mikel Arteta to ponder going into this half-time break. There was that news of a penalty that we mentioned to you what feels like a lifetime ago now at the Amex Stadium. It was Iliman Ndiaye who converted for Everton. They do lead Brighton by a goal to nil going into the half-time break. Liverpool in that time as well have also managed to increase their lead over Ipswich to 3. Cody Gakpo with the goal there. So goals going in the Premier League. It is still just our game now that is goalless.
Yeah, just to confirm as well that in the fracas of the red card for Lewis Skelly, Jurrien Timber also picked up a booking for his protest as well. So João Gomez got booked earlier for Wolves. Timber's just been booked for Arsenal, and of course Lewis Skelly's been sent off for Arsenal.
Plenty busy 45 minutes then for Michael Oliver so far, as Wolves come forward again once at the end. Doherty's pass towards Semedo, finds it again though, the Irishman. They're trying to come inside now. Might be one of the best chances Wolves will get now to get a lead, with Arsenal obviously unorganised, waiting for that half-time break so they can resettle. The ball comes in towards the back post eventually. There is Altnauri at the back post. It's headed away but only as far as him. He's got Agbadou for support. Agbadou onto his right foot, finds it back and then goes for the first time shot from the edge of the area, but it's absolutely nowhere near the goal.
No, I mean it's almost like a rugby conversion now, isn't it? He's got so much height underneath that one. He's lifted that a long way over, and it's a shame really, because there were 3 or 4 options there as well. I mean, looking at that replay again, I can only assume from Michael Oliver's perspective that he feels like this is a stamp down from Lewis Skelly, but that's what we've got the video replay for. They should really call Michael Oliver over and tell him that that's not a red card, and I'm quite, as I say, I'm not surprised that they haven't, because we've now heard from a couple of ex-referees, including Mike Dean, who've revealed that sometimes VAR doesn't want to make it worse for their mate who's out on the pitch, but that's not what VAR was designed for. There should be more of a situation where they look at it whether it's right or wrong. I sometimes think that the video referee looks at a replay and goes, well, yeah, I can see why he's done that, so I'm not changing it. That irritating phrase of clear and obvious error just allows them to pretty much get away with not checking anything, because they can always say, oh, well, I might have given that decision as well. But here come Wolves now.
Yeah, here they are on the left-hand side. Here is a substitute, Hwang Hee-chan. It's just really poor play in the end. There was the space for Wolves to do some damage. Sarabia was arriving in the box, but in the end the South Korean just runs it out of play. But just going back to that VAR, it feels like the sort of clear and obvious, like it's as grey as ever. No one really knows.
Well, that's why I think that phrase. I mean, obviously they have to have some sort of qualifier for how they're going to look at video decisions. But if it gets to a point where everybody, I'm not talking about us as commentators or fans, but if across the board a number of people would say that shouldn't be or that should be a red card, but then you'll find one referee somewhere that says, well, I can see why he's gone the other way, well, then that means you don't need VAR at all, because there's always going to be that argument to say he's got it right or he's got it wrong. So I think that that was an example where the referee should have looked at the replay, unless they've decided that just the intent from him sort of trying to stamp down on Doherty rather than just tripping him is enough to say it's a red card. But we've seen similar ones this season, and we'll see other ones this season that won't be sent off for that.
Might even see challenges in this game like that. I mean, we at first just thought it was the cynical foul, obviously, and then until Oliver rebranched that, and it took us a few replays just to actually see the intent from Lewis Skelly. We didn't even realise at first. We thought it was. It
was just a quick trip to stop a counter attack. I mean, there is a little bit more malice than that what we initially said, but it's not to overlabour the point. But it does seem like it's a harsh decision, and we've seen worse challenges this season that haven't been punished. But what's happened since then, of course, is that Arsenal have lost a little bit of their spring in their step. Wolves are getting more of the ball, but not really able to progress with it.
Yeah, Arsenal. You can imagine why they do it. They're just sort of sitting back at the moment, just trying to soak up pressure. Imagine then getting at half time, then refigure out what the plan is. Maybe another change if they need it to just balance it. Maybe just go in at half time goalless. There is only 1 minute left of stoppage time at Molineaux. Semedo has the ball on the right side. Wolves looking to end the half in a flurry. Here's Bueno. They're really high up the pitch though now, Wolves, but Arsenal got every man behind the ball. Agbadou just probing and looking for that way in. He's going to just go back in the end too. Bueno's got Doherty to his right hand side. Seeing as well, in terms of possession, it's completely even. I imagine the last few minutes or so has played an impact as that. As Cunha gets the ball on the edge, tries to turn and shoot, can't get there in the end. There might be a potential counter attack for Arsenal. In the end, just happy to play it out between themselves before Gabriel launches it up the pitch. Agbadou beats Martinelli for the header. As he then goes in for the challenge again, Timber's involved there. Gomez does well to bring it away and then gives it to Art-Nord. There's a bit of a scrap again as Timber goes down this time. Referee not interested in a potential attack now for Arsenal. Martinelli driving at goal. Can't find Havertz in the end. Agbadou shows his strength, just shrugs Havertz off of it and wins the free kick. And I think as the half-time whistle gone at Molineaux, it's been shrouded in controversy this first half at Molineaux. Miles Skelly sent off for a red card. It's Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Arsenal 0.